And good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hmm. Let's see. I'm opening up the stream to an empty house, but I imagine Josh and Digi and them will be popping in as usual. Oh, anyway, let's see here. What is going on? The weekend was wild. First of all, it got cold again. That gummit. It's February. It's the middle or the end of February here. And I know it's getting close to the end of February because my calendar is starting to fill up with bills. I got to make certain I pay before the last day of the month. Go ahead and program my mortgage to get paid, program the electric bill, the cell phone bill, uh, light bill. Program all those, to get paid on specific days of the month. I got to do all that on by between the 26th and 28th. That way, when the first rolls around, my mortgage is automatically sent out to the mortgage company on the for the my car insurance is automatically sent out on the 4th because it's due on the 5th. Light bill is automatically sent out the day before it's due. Phone bill sent out the day before it's billed. The cable bill is sent out. Cable and internet bill. If I just wish the wife wasn't so addicted to television. I really truly wish she wasn't so addicted to TV. Because then I could get rid of the cable bill, or at least just reduce it to the bare minimum just to get the local networks. Get the bare minimum cable bill, which would probably cut my cable bill in half. And that would be absolutely amazing. Cell phone bill, that's stuck. There's nothing I can do with the cell phone bill. Save a little money by telling my son he's got to get his own cell phone contract under his own name, but I mean it's $15 a month to have him on mine, so that's not that bad. But anyway, what else? I mean, and like I said, it's gotten cold. We had the thermostat near the furnace set to 66 degrees when we went to bed last night. And at 3 o'clock this morning, it kicked on. That meant it had to be 64 in the house before the furnace kicks on. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was so cold, my dog jumped up underneath the blankets, jumped up in the bed and crawled up underneath the blankets to go to sleep. That should have been my first warning that it was chilly out. Oh, what's that? What's that? Oh no. She's good people, but I'm not interested in what she uh, oh yeah, that's only supposed to get up to 67 today. Good God, have mercy. That's too stupid cold. Hey Data, good morning to you, buddy. So let's see here. As far as the rest of the weekend, Oh, not much, not much. Joy Reid got canned. The announcement was released. She is gone. The racist, bald-headed woman from, and I'm going to assume lesbian, but no, I think she's actually married to a white man, isn't she? I've got to. Who is Joy Reid married to? No, she's married to a black man. Well, at least she's not a lesbian. Not that that matters, but I bet they do have arguments over who's going to use the electric razor for shaving their head. Hey, morning, Ramen. Since they're both bald headed, though, I'll make a bet they both argue who's going to use the electric razor. Or maybe they just help each other out and shave each other's head. But it does make me happy. Well, am I going to say happy? Because I don't watch MSNBC. I'm just going to say that's one less liar on MSNBC, one less racist on MSNBC. Now, the reason, her ratings have dropped so badly. I think they said it dropped by over 30%. That there's people out there who stream podcast that get more views a day, a week, a month than she does. And that's on both sides of the aisle. However, like they say, it's unclear whether Reid is leaving MSNBC entirely, but it seems likely she will remain with the network as a contributor. Probably for the duration of her contract, if there's any left. Okay. So, but that doesn't mean that just because she's gone, that there's fewer racists on the channel, on the network, or fewer bald-headed black women. This is the Simone Sanders Townsend. And as you can tell, another black bald-headed woman. And she really and truly is just as big of a racist as okay, yeah, she's just as big of a racist as Joy Reid is. So there's, I notice I said they didn't get rid of racism; they just reduced their racist people by one. All right. Then the next one that's taken over is this Alicia Mendez. And this is Alicia Mendez. I'm assuming that she is married to a Hispanic. That she's, as I heard somebody say this weekend, a black person describing someone who is white. She's mayonnaise on Wonder Bread. So I'm going to assume. I mean, if she has got Hispanic, if she's Hispanic, it didn't come out. She's of the white bread Hispanic group. I don't know that much about this woman. I've never paid attention to her before. So she is what she is. And then the one that they've got to have that token Republican on their panel. So they brought over the former chairman of the RNC who absolutely hated Trump and actually hated a lot of conservative positions, Michael Steele. And let's just say him quitting when he got fired from the RNC, that wasn't exactly bad news for the Republican Party. He's a Susan Collins type Republican. So, and I think he's even more liberal than Susan Collins, to be honest. But those are the three people who will be taking over Joy Reid's time slot. And, you know, racism and what was that? Oh, it's empty already. Son of a gun. This is Monday, Infusions. Racism at MSNBC, anti-whites commentary, anti-conservative commentary, anything except hyper leftism is the norm at MSNBC. We all know that, some people say, well, in the past, people have said, well, MSNBC is that no worse than Fox News, just on the other side. The problem is Fox News has never been racist. Fox News has never been as radically to the right, especially in their news departments, but even in their commentary department, as MSNBC has always been to the left. Now, I remember when MSNBC and the MS, just in case you have forgotten, because I know most of us knew this, stood for Microsoft. MSNBC started off as a joint venture between Microsoft and NBC. That I think that was the only way that NBC could compete with CNN in the cable news department, was to do it as a joint venture with with Microsoft. And of course, we've seen how that's turned out. Whoops. I'm refilling my next syringe. And I almost filled it with air, which is not a good thing. Even though these things are doing sub-Q, which means it's just tiny needles put into the massive amounts of fat around my belly. Still not a good thing to put a bunch of air in there. So, come on, put that needle cover on. Hey, I got another early start on this today, even though I overslept. Okay, back to the computer. But Joy Reid is out. We're all happy. Now for our weekly Doge report, or daily Doge. Let's see. What did Doge put out this morning? Or the most recent from the Doge? Let's see here. Lee Zeldin just canceled another 21 wasteful DEI and environmental justice grants, rocking up another $67 million in savings. And that was on the 22nd. So that would been Saturday. Nice job, Lee Zeldin. On Friday afternoon, 95 cancellations with the savings of approximately $115 million. Ceiling value of $235 million, including USDA contracts, $265,000 for a food nutrition service 3-day leadership retreat in Atlanta. Wow. $30,000 for a study of Malaysian study tour facility. Oh no, facilitation services. Tour, okay, Malaysia study tour facilitation services. I'm going to assume that is a study on how to get tourism built up in Malaysia. Yep, that's very important for the American people. Going back to this 3-day leadership conference in Atlanta for 3 days, $265,000. All right, so that's going to be, let's give it 3 nights at a hotel, and let's $500 a night. So that's $150 per person. And then the hotels serve breakfast. Lunch will be on them. Lunch and dinner would be on them. So let's go with $70 or $25 for lunch and $75 for supper. So call it $100 a day for food. So that's another $300. So let's see here, 1,500, so $1,800 a day per person. How many people were they planning on having show up? That was going to cost $265K. Where's my calculator? $265,000 Divide that by 1,800. That's we call it 147 people. It's 147.22222. So let's say it's 147 people to show up for this conference. And that's expensive. Yeah, I know. Probably overestimated on the cost of the food and hotels, but still. And I think that's US GSA sold the old Webster School building for $4 million. Okay. Why did we buy it in 22 years ago and needed $24 million worth of maintenance? Yeah, that definitely get something to get rid of. Okay. Uh, this is one we missed the other day. A $324,000 grant for increasing DEIA programming for integrated pest management. Wow. All right, Doge. Keep it up. Keep the good times rolling. Save us that money. Okay, so what's up with those Zempic there, Ramen? Not that I'm planning on taking Ozempic for any time. I mean, I'm doing weight loss the natural way, I guess. Even though I just ate a low carb tortilla with peanut butter and hot pepper jelly on it. But that's the way I'm losing weight is by controlling what I eat. Taking it off nice and slow. My doctor likes to see me take it off a little bit faster, but then, of course, walking every day. Man, Saturday walking. Oh my God. I Saturday night at work, my legs absolutely killed me because I think I did almost 7,000 steps Saturday. And I mean, it just felt like I wanted to go. I mean, it just absolutely felt miserable on me. I was not prepared for that. I simply was not prepared. But I did it, it was over and done with. Okay. Use it for diabetes, doctors prescribe for weight loss, right? Causes blindness. Oh yeah, I definitely heard that the people that once they stopped taking Ozempic, their body had gotten used to it, and so it did cause people to gain weight weight back. Let's see here. Ozempic blindness. Ozempic blindness could be rare but real. What experts say about the risk. Okay. Well, when you start injecting weird and ugly things into your body, yes, you definitely want to pee away your fat. Then there's that, was it apple cider and vinegar or something? Apple cider vinegar you're supposed to drink at night to lose weight. Apple cider vinegar, lose weight. There we go. According to some studies, adding 1 or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to your diet may help you lose weight, reduce your body fat percentage, help you lose body fat, and decrease your blood triglycerides. And so that's may help you, not will help you. Now, I do use apple cider vinegar a lot, but I don't drink it. There's a, now there is some truth to the cinnamon, but you do have to um on the cinnamon you have to use it or do it a specific way. And of course it's got to be real cinnamon. It can't be the fake stuff. So Dana, what you've thrown out, what you wanted to throw out there link here? Oh, affordable weight loss and the chocolate diet, a scientific hoax goes viral. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. So let me
to lose weight.
Did you see the headlines on that? Well, that sounds too good to be true, and apparently it's because it is.
Indeed, media around the world published our story. It was called the #1 media hoax of all time on BuzzFeed.
Every second person wants to lose weight, but how when we fail so often?
And yet, we try it time and time.
Oh, yeah. You want to get rich? Introduce a new diet that let go fad. That will make you rich in a hurry. Make you richer than what the devil? Oh. Got that up there. That's supposed to be okay. Yep. You want to get rich, introduce a new fattish diet. Yeah, you can see a lot of people buying this. The Amish natural medicine cabinet or something like that. And then there's the forgotten remedies of the past. Let's see here. You see a lot of primitivists and off-gridders pushing these books that where they've discovered secrets of how to make pemmican and the things that the Indians and the people who crossed the nation in wagon trains used to keep healthy along the Oregon Trail. Yeah, it can't be a hoax because you sign agreements beforehand. It's still in early stages of testing. Yep. But yeah, you see those books everywhere. About the only thing I buy, the only books I bought have been, and had my sister send down to me, was a book of Amish recipes that she actually went to the Amish town and bought from the Amish. So rub cod liver oil all over your body. That sounds disgusting. While we're talking about hoaxes, okay, I am very pissed off about a hoax that our media has perpetrated on the American people. I've made it clear many times. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump's doing, has done, and plans on doing. I don't agree with everything. But even the stuff I don't agree with are better than the things that the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were pushing. I have far fewer things that I disagree with Trump on than I had things that I agreed with under Biden Harris. And the Democratic Party, especially since who they just elected as their as vice chair, David Hogg. But anyway, this past weekend, I got into a discussion with a 71-year-old woman. Her and I've been talking off and on for years. We've never discussed politics before, but we've talked about food and cooking, and we've traded recipes and all kinds of things. And for some reason this weekend, we talked politics for the first time. And she told me she voted for Kamala. I was like, oh, wow, really? Why? And she started telling me her reasons. She believed everything the media had to say. And then she goes, I'm really afraid of Trump. Now, she lives in a house that has been paid for 30 years. The only thing she has to worry about is her utilities, insurance, and taxes. That's the only bills that she has to worry about. She's got decent income from her retirement plan. She was a state employee. She's got decent income from that. She's also got Social Security and disability. So she's got moderate income from that. So as long as she's not stupid with her money, which she isn't, she lives a fairly comfortable life. And she's telling me she was considering selling her house and moving into a 1-bedroom apartment. She goes, I can get $250,300 for my house. If I sell it and I move into an apartment, then I don't have to worry about about insurance and taxes and all this other stuff. I said, yeah, but then you got to worry about them raising your rent every year. And soon, you're looking at $1,000 a month rent on this 1-bedroom apartment. In 5 years, you could be paying $2,000 a month rent. And that's going to chew up whatever money you have from the sale of your house. You're a lot better off staying where you're at. And she goes, well, then she talked about ending her own life and saying, well, if it gets to that point, I'll just end my own life. Because I'm in my 70s. I've really got no family. I've got no children. She never married. Well, she never had any children. And she goes, I've got no need. I can just end it all. And she goes, why would you even talk like that? She goes, well, everything that Trump is doing to this country is going to destroy it and make it worse. And I'm sitting there going, what do you mean Trump's going to destroy the country? Well, look what he's doing. He's going to cause race wars. He's going to cause this. He's proclaiming himself king he's proclaiming himself king. Hey, morning, Digi. And discussion of a conversation I had with a 70-plus-year-old woman this weekend. And she's sitting there telling me everything that the news is saying negative about Trump and the administration, and how he's going to destroy the country. And before we get involved in race riots and everything else, and the cost of living keeps going up, she might as well just self-delete. Now, I really like this woman. At her core, she's a real sweetheart. I've known her for 30 years. Like I said, we've never discussed politics before. Never. Until this weekend. But that is what our media is doing to people. She started showing me the stuff that she saved about the 50-51 riots, or excuse me, protest. 50 states, 50 protests, one message. And she just kept going off, and I'm trying to tell her, show her the other side of things. And all she'd say to me is, "You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You believe everything that fascist. You must be a fascist because you believe everything Trump is saying." I asked her where she got her news from. I said, where do you get your news? Are you listening to MSNBC? And as soon as I said that, she nodded her head. Are you listening to CNN? She nodded her head. And that's what, all the negativity coming out about Trump on those two networks has actually got a 70-plus-year-old woman thinking about self-deletion because she's so afraid of what Trump is going to do to the country. Exactly, Neil. No, she's not going through dementia, Raman. She's just so afraid of what she's hearing on the news every day on MSNBC and CNN. Oh, I tried showing her other news things, data, and basically she just shut me down. She all but turned away from me and walked away. She needs more help than I can give her. I really like this woman. She's been a great friend for 30 some years. My wife really likes her. So, now her her first husband, she ended up divorcing. Her second husband, he died of dementia. He had sundowners, or not sundowners. He had another form of dementia. If I can get her to talk to me about it again. because I do not want data. If I could get her, agree to get her to talk to me about it again, I will. So, but this is what they're doing to, I mean, I understand this is one person that I personally know. But when she talked about self-deleting because she was afraid of what was going to happen in the future, that just absolutely made me nervous. So now I talk to her. I call her every couple. I've called her 4 times since that conversation just to talk to her. Because I will do a wellness call on her in a heartbeat. And speaking of the left, we're going to go up to Maryland. And there's some stupid nonsense going up there. Maryland lawmakers advance a bill legalizing contraceptive vending machines in public schools. The bill permits contraceptive vending machines in nursery schools. Maryland's House of Delegates on Friday reversed a criminal law banning condoms and other birth control contraceptives from being sold in public school vending machines. Delegate Nicole A. Williams, a Democrat representing District 22, led the effort, sponsoring Bill 0380. This bill repeals misdemeanor prohibition against an associated penalty for selling or offering for sale contraceptive or contraceptive device by means of a vending machine or other automatic device at kindergarten, nursery school, elementary school, or secondary school. They are specifically saying kindergartens, nursery schools, elementary schools. They want your 5-year-old, 6-year-old to have a condom machine available to them. And when the Republicans offered an amendment to this bill because they're questioning why, like I'm questioning right now, why in the hell would you want to put a machine selling contraceptive devices and condoms in a kindergartner classroom or in a first or second grader's bathroom? What kind of nonsense are you expecting to be going on with them? The Democrats oh, no, this isn't meant for the kids. So the Republicans put in an amendment to strike kindergarten, nursery, and elementary schools. And the Democrats voted the amendment down. What is in their sick little brains? You're not, I don't think you're really misreading it. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I didn't call her. I texted her yesterday. I didn't call her. But what are going through these Democrats' sick brains that they think a first grader or a kid in kindergarten needs to have access to condoms or other birth control devices? Why would teachers ever need access to condoms and birth control devices while they're in their places of employment, while they're in the schools? And while I strongly disagree with it, I can see how the Democrats get around saying, well, yeah, but we need to have them in the high schools to prevent teenage pregnancy amongst high school students. But nursery schools? Who is getting turned on by kids in nursery schools? If you're getting turned on by a kid in a nursery school, you need to be in prison. We need to be having a serious look at your hard drive and everything else in your house. Because that is just absolutely outrageous. That you put a condom in a nursery school, a kindergarten, or an elementary school. That is absolutely ridiculous. Delegate Kathy, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name. A Republican said lawmakers have lost their minds and warned parents to wake up. Maryland lawmakers have officially lost their minds. Condom vending machines in schools from preschool to high school. Thanks to H.R. 30 Condoms for Kiddies bills, your school will soon be a one-stop shop for birth control. What's next? Hormone therapy at recess? This is what happens when the people in charge puts ideology over common sense. Thirty years ago, I don't think you'd find a Democrat 30 years ago willing to put condom machines into even high schools. I don't know. Lothar, good morning. Dana, what channel's got that Space 1999 on? With Martin Landau and why can't I remember her name? His wife, Barbara Bainbridge. Bainbridge. They were both on Mission Impossible together. Then they went over to it's YouTube. Okay. I may put that on after I'm done with the stream here. I got other things I need to do. The Democrat House majority also advanced Bill 161, which would ban parents from pulling their young children out of classes teaching gender identity and sexual orientation. And yet these Democrats want to know why so many parents want to homeschool their kids. They want to put condom machines in the schools for 5 and 6 year olds. And they're requiring kids to go into classes teaching gender identity and sexual orientation. This is absolutely ridiculous. I think that's it for this article. Yep, that's it for this article. I wouldn't mind having that shower, especially with that bench in there. But Democrats losing their minds about our schools, and they want to know why we want to homeschool our kids. That is absolutely ridiculous. And it really, like I said, it really worries me. Who in their right mind would want to have that there? Who in their right mind would want to have or think that they need to have a condom machine in their schools because they got excited? With 5 and 6 year olds. It makes no sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. Okay, to New York. There's results of Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. You're actually seeing it. The self-deportations is happening. And the numbers of illegals, from what I understand, what reports I've seen, ooh, Rubin report. Going to have to watch him later. Tense meeting details leaking out about their meeting over firing staff over there at MSNBC. But over at New York City's notorious Roosevelt Hotel shelter will be migrant free. The notorious Roosevelt Hotel shelter in Manhattan is expected to close down operations in coming months as the number of asylum seekers in the city's care continues to drop since Trump took office. Now, that to them, this is 232,000 migrants in the city since the crisis began in spring of 2022. Yeah, you mean since they decided that they were going to start shipping illegals? Abbott started shipping illegals from Texas to you guys. That's when you decided that there was actually a crisis and something needed to happen. But yeah, remember when these used to be the lines around all over New York of illegals trying to find places to sleep or eat? Adams said the number of arriving illegals entering the city is down to about 350 each week. A dramatic decrease from the 4,000 that happened every week before. So less than 10%. It's dropped 90% since Trump's taken office. Absolutely amazing. In the week leading up to February the 2nd, 200 new migrants required the city help, while 1,800 left city shelters. And in the first week of Trump's term, 300 migrants were registered in the city, while 1,800 departed. That's just absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. Now, there's a lot of questions about his, Department of Justice dropping charges against him. What you got there, Data? It's not that I don't trust you. I just don't trust Facebook. British NGO teaches Afghan women that urine. What? Oh, this urinal picture is actual art. That this is actual art. Yeah, I remember seeing this. Yeah, that's one of the things that U.S. AID was giving money to that woman there. That woman's actually married to an American judge, I think. I think she's married to an American judge that had that was one of the ones that upheld or tried to shut down the Doge. Let me share that real quick. Yeah. If I'm right, she's married to an American that was allowing Doge, that argued against Doge. Did I hear about the 2 million for toilet art in a slideshow for Afghani women? Okay. So, but yep. That is ridiculous. Oh, it didn't share. Duh. There we go. And what she is trying to teach them is that that was a piece of conceptual art. One of the first pieces of conceptual art. A urinal laying on its side. Try and teach that to Afghani women. And she was getting money from USAID. For that. Okay. Josh Hawley, one of my favorite, another one of my favorite members of Congress. He's introducing legislation for an audit of the money that's been sent to the Ukraine. It's only 4 years too late. Audit should have been done 4 years ago, and every penny audited since then. But that's not the way Democrats do things. They just hand money over to people and say, here you go. And we can't, it's not our job to tell you what you can and can't do with that money. We're just going to give you the money and hope you do the right thing with it. It's a lot like this hell that they're raising about a SNAP program not being able to be used for soda pop, as I grew up calling it, candy bars, pretzel, potato chips, Little Debbie bars, the stuff that you buy when you got extra money, the snacky foods. So Josh is going to do what he can there to try to get an audit. Now we all know that audit's not going to go. As much as I agree, and as I think Trump will push for it to get done, I don't think it's going to happen very well. Zelensky and the Democrats will sit there and fight it every step of the way. I'm of the mind, am I in favor of Russia? No. Do I think Putin's a good guy? No. I've never thought Russia or any Soviet leader was a good guy. But remember, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. Russia's always been the bad guy for me. Zelensky, while he's been invaded by Russia, that doesn't make him a good guy. He's not much better. He's a dirtbag. For reasons, canceling, they're canceling elections. His offshore banking accounts have swollen, as of many other people's have swollen through the kindness of the American dollar. Yeah, I was going to get to that data. That would be funny. That would be funny to watch happen. But I really want to see an audit of Ukraine. Every dollar spent, every penny spent. Uh, I'm a week or so ago, there was a little bit of an uproar over JD Vance and what he said to the European nations in Munich, I believe. There was a minor uproar about that because he said some pretty hard truths. And a lot of people really didn't like it, did not like hearing what JD had to say. But now some of them are coming around. This is the Italian PM. And this is what she's got to say.
Vice President Vance was discussing something deeper: identity, democracy, freedom of speech. In short, Europe's historic role and mission. Many pretended to be outraged.
I don't know if they were pretending or not. A lot of them I don't think were pretending to be outraged. A lot of them I think were simply outraged over what Vance said.
Calling for European pride against an American daring to lecture us.
And just not them. We had people here in the United States. We had Americans. How dare you tell our allies in Europe these things? How dare you do that?
Well, let me tell you, as someone who is proud to be European.
Okay. Shouldn't you first be proud of being an Italian? Not European. Shouldn't you first be proud of being an Italian? And here I am waving my hand in that gesture that we claim all Italians have, in that hand gesture, you know, their thumb and four fingers coming together. You should be Italian first. You should be looking out for your country first, not for Europe first, your country first.
First, if those who were outraged had shown the same pride when Europe lost its strategic autonomy, tying its economy to autocratic regimes, or when European borders and our way of life were threatened by mass illegal migration, now
Neil, you may want to draw that back. You may want to draw that back, buddy. Okay.
now we would live in a stronger Europe. CPAC understood before many others that the political and cultural battle for conservative values is not just an American battle. It is a Western battle.
Later,
Vice President Vance.
later, Digi. You have a good one.
And our way of life were threatened by mass illegal migration, now we would live in a stronger Europe. CPAC understood before many others that the political and cultural battle for conservative values is not just an American battle. It is a Western battle. Vice President.
Neil, like I said, you draw back there what you said. You're taking what she fully agrees with what JD was saying. She's not angry about what JD was saying. That wasn't bothering her. She agreed with it. And I would bet that she wasn't the only person in Europe in an elected office that wanted to agree with what JD was saying. But couldn't come out and say it out loud like that because of the leftist newspapers and media in their countries. So she wasn't wrong. She simply was not wrong. Okay, let's see here. Oh, yeah. So let's go back to Trump here. And you're right, but it's usually the Germans or Great Britons or French. Germany, France, and the UK who want to lecture us. All right. Now, we listened to y'all heard about Maine. Where did it go? That's not it. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait a second. I got to let Spanky out. He just woke up from his morning nap and he wants outside now. Go ahead and go. Yes, Smokey, you're a good kitty. I just can't let you outside unless one of us goes with you. Okay. So I'm sure you heard about what happened in Maine, or the Trump and the governor of Maine.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, Your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
That was Maine's governor telling Trump that she was going to allow transgender to play on. She was going to continue to allow boys to play on girls' teams. She was going to allow men to play on women's teams, be in women's locker rooms, women's changing rooms, because that was state law. And then she made this stupid mistake, threatening the president with, "I will see you in court." Now, this will go to Maine's court first. And Trump will probably lose. They'll go up to the Court of Appeals. And that's 50-50 whether or not I'll lose at the Court of Appeals. I'd say it's 75-25 that he'll lose at the lowest court, 50-50 at the appeals court. Then it'll end up before the Supreme Court. And I would give it an 80-20 that Trump would win at the Supreme Court with his current makeup. And that's just, but see, the Maine's governor, though, she's got her own little things here that she likes to do. And this is why she's willing to fight over this. According to Matt Gaetz, this is Maine's governor, Janet Mills, at a Portland drag show dancing. When the truth comes out. Now, what is that in her hand? I've been trying to figure out if that is a sexual device for women to enjoy or what. Because it's not a microphone. But she's, dressed up there pretending to be Wonder Woman. So I don't know what that's supposed to have been in her hand. I really don't know. Maybe one of you guys do. But thank you, Matt Gaetz, for showing that. And let's see here. The last thing I had on my, where is... Oh, Roberta Flack died. Died at 88. Oh, that's sad news. Where did it go? Now, I don't know how many of y'all know who, well, I'm sure y'all do, but who Dan Bongino is. Uh, he's former cop who has been appointed to be the assistant FBI or FBI deputy director. In other words, he's Cash's right-hand man. Now, he's been a podcaster, and I've for quite a while. And he is an extremely liberal. He's an extremely conservative podcaster. The liberals hate him. He's sarcastic as hell. He's I've listened to him quite a bit. He will say some pretty outrageous things. And when he's doing it, he's doing it. It's sort of like Trump with, I want to be a dictator on day one so I can do this, this, and this. And Dan Bongino has done many things like that. You know, if I were a liberal, I would say this, 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 and this. Well, you know, with selective editing, like the left, well, not just the left does love to do it, but so do some on the right. Creative editing, selective editing. They're going to be taking a bunch of what he has said in the past out of context. I mean, it's already started. I don't know how many of you have seen it. I've already seen it. Where things he's said in the past will be taken out of context, which is fine and dandy, as long as we're willing to fight to get the truth known. As long as we're willing to admit that we know that what they're saying is wrong. So, but Dan Bongino has been a New York City cop. He's been a member of the Secret Service. I believe he's been. I believe he was military. Let's see what Wikipedia's got to say about. Let's see. He was assigned to Presidential Protection Division under George Bush and Barack Obama. He resigned from the Secret Service and ran for U.S. Senate from Maryland. He lost to the incumbent Democrat, and then and I guess that's when he started his podcasting career. So let's see, New York State Police Department from 95 to 99. Then a special agent until so let's see here. Come on, Wikipedia, open up. Thank you. And let's see, he's only 50 years old. He's a young man still. He's If you listen to, well, of course you can't listen to his podcast anymore because he's given up his podcast career because, accepting this job working for the FBI. In 4 years, he'll come back to podcasting and he'll have an even stronger podcast when he comes back. But he's got very strong opinions about certain Democrats. Oh, wow. You just got out of diapers there, didn't you, Neil? Okay, I'm going to close that. I'm closing some of these tabs here. I got one last tab open for when I end the stream. But I'm happy with Dan being, let's put it this way. I've got nothing to say derogatory about Dan being on the FBI. There's nothing there that's going to break my heart. At least from what I know of him. All right. Of course, I have never followed him so close that I know everything he said. I haven't listened to all this podcast. I've listened to more than a few of them. So good luck, Dan. And I guess to end this stream here, we're going to go back to Doge for just a little bit. This will be the last thing. We all heard of the email that Musk sent out. List the 5 things you've done in the past week and make certain you CC your manager. And if you fail to do this, we will consider that to be your resignation. Well, here is a government employee who received that email. There, okay.
I just got an email from Elon Musk. I have to answer a questionnaire.
Well, what does it say?
Okay, first question. How long have you been employed by the Department of Health? 4 years. Okay, this isn't that bad.
Okay, what's the next question?
Okay, all right, next question. What is your job title?
Well, what is your job title?
I don't know.
Well, what do you do?
Nothing.
No, like really, when you go in, what do you do?
Like nothing.
Okay, just skip that one for now.
Okay, moving along. What is your main job responsibility?
Are you serious?
I can figure this out. All right. I briefed the assistant health secretary on matters of health when she was in town. Wait. When he was in town. Wait. When she was in town. I don't know what
She doesn't even know who the health secretary is.
to say.
I think it might be better if you say he. I don't know. Just go to the next one.
Okay. All right. I can do this. All right. Last question. All right. Name 5 things you did last week. I'm fucked.
You have to wonder how many of these government workers have had that exact reaction to that email. Oh my God, I don't know what my job title is. What did I do last week? Drank coffee. I typed up a report. I watch YouTube and TikTok videos. I watched Space 1999. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, in all seriousness, I think they've moved a little too fast on the firing of some of these employees. Because as we know, they've already had to rehire some back. And that is an indication that they did move a little bit, too quickly on firing some of these people. That day I was Air Force. What you got there? Lockheed's insane attack carrier, the CL-12. Wouldn't this be more for Darby and Navy? Damn commercials. I hate commercials. Holy cripes, that looks like a huge bomber. Oh my God. That thing is absolutely huge. Let me share this here. U-2 SR-71, the CL-1201. That thing is a monstrosity. Or was a monstrosity. That's from 1969. So yeah, this here's something in the past, but my God, that thing is huge. That makes the yeah, I mean, it's actually carrying aircraft in its underbelly. Those are F-4s being hung from its pylons. Holy crap. They're hanging 3 from each side of it. I spent a little time working on F-4s. Those things, I gotta go back to that drawing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 F-4s on a side. Jesus. That thing's monstrosity. That is a monstrosity of an aircraft. I'll have to watch this later. But that thing is a huge monstrosity. Yeah, you're right, Neil. That back in the 60s and 50s and 60s, they've had go big or go home mentality. I wonder how many KC-10s they figured it would take to refill that sucker. Because I can't imagine them pulling that. I mean, they'd have the fuel trucks lined up to refill that thing on the ground. And the amount of runway space it would take for it to get enough ground speed to lift off. Gee, many Christmas. No, I didn't get that far, Data. This is as far as I've gotten on this thing. I could probably take an hour watching this thing and going over it like this. And that's just looking at the pictures of it and what little bit I actually remember without doing any research about aviation history during that time frame. So I'll save this and I'll come back to it later on. I may do. All right, now speaking of later on, the rest of this week is entirely in flux. Let's just say doctors have decided they needed to talk to me, and I forgot about some appointments that got scheduled months ago that are all coming up this week. So the rest of this week is in flux as to whether or not I'll be here. And it'll be a day by day thing. I'll try to put something out. If I'm going to be here, I'll put something out on X. But if you don't see anything on X, chances are, I'll try to put something out on X if I'm not going to be here. All right. So, but other than that, folks, y'all have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. I'll be back when I can. Hopefully, I'll be back at least for Friday's stream. I'm not going to make any promises one way or another. All right. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. And of course, be with the ones you love and love.